Hello, Instagram. How are you? How are you today? I hope you're doing well. I hope everything is okay. As you see, I'm not alone. I always have my baby with me. Yes, she's now my personal assistant. So I hope you have an amazing week. I hope everything is okay. Like, welcome in February, like I want to believe. And I don't know for you, for me, January was just like, what the hell? What happened during this month? Nothing worked, like, not in a bad way or in a good way, but just like normally, like how I expected the things to go. So it was an interesting month. So now it's February. Let's reset everything. February is basically like the second chance. So let's see how it goes. I hope you're doing well. And this week is about photographers. Yes. Finally, it's our turn. Like I hesitated a lot to do something like just for photographers, but I realized that I have a lot of photographers following me, and it could be really interesting, especially at the beginning of this MC education adventure, to talk to colleagues, like to talk together, like maybe sometime, maybe it's going to be something I won't do in the future anymore, because I really want to stay open to all the entrepreneurs. But so far, it's still on track. So photographers, hello! It works also for videographers. It works actually for many, many businesses, but it's like I'm going to talk especially to photographers because of my experience, of course. So I can't wait for your feedback as usual. So basically today we're going to, like, I send a kind of review to have your point of view and to know what you would like me to talk about this week, but I received so many things from so many different subjects, so it was too complicated to just choose one. So I decided actually to do something more global, to do something like 5 tips from my experience. And of course, as always say, it's just my experience. So you take it, you don't take it, you do whatever you want with it. It's just, look, it works for me in a way. So yeah, hello from Sri Lanka. Well, c'est bon. Like my friend of mine, a really amazing photographer, just is on holidays, because some people can have holidays. It's unfair, but enjoy. I hope you have an amazing surf spots, definitely. So today is about like 5 tips for photographers to upgrade our businesses, and it's something like I keep working on because it's never finished. Like what you see, it's totally normal. I just realized it's my dog. Actually, this morning I tried to take a shower with her because I wanted to wash her. She didn't like it. So I have shining, it's okay. It's normal. Don't worry. So 5 tips for photography. What an introduction, like 30 seconds of nothing, Basically, first tip, and this is something I actually already did an entire episode about, is you sell what you show. And as I always say, like I could do a t-shirt with this mantra on it. But guys, I've met so many photographers, and they always complain about the same thing. Oh, I'm not able to reach the market I'd like to reach. I would like to go in this market. I don't talk particularly about the luxury industry or anything. It's just like, I want to stop with this specific clientele, and I want to go this specific client. I live in, like my case, I live just next to Germany, and I dream about all these amazing weddings on the French Riviera with the Mediterranean Sea in the background. How do you want me how do you want my clients to know that I can do that if I don't show them I can do that? So I created some photo shoots. I've been there. I did some shoot. I communicated a lot about I'm there, I can do it, and I created pictures. Because as I always say, you sell what you show. Repeat 10 times, please. So the thing is, if you want to reach another kind of clientele, if you want to travel, for example, if you want to do more destination weddings, it's completely okay and it's completely possible. But how do you want your client to know? Then you can do it, and you can be there, and you can, for example, do weddings in Sri Lanka, like just show them. So organize photo shoots. The little story, but it's like something I really like telling again and again, because it's the story of my life, basically, at least my career. It's when I started 10 years ago, I traveled for the very first time to Venice for a workshop. And I was like, wow, it's amazing. I can travel with my job, through my job, it was amazing. So I said, okay, I have to show that to my clients, what is possible. So I was on my way back home from Venice, and I decided to book trip to Ireland, and to Barcelona. And I found models and I bring some dresses with me and I was like, yalla, let's go. It was a bit random, but I did it and it worked in a way because I did it again and again and again. And then my clients, they said like, wow, we can travel, we can do an engagement session or an after wedding session all over the world. And especially in Europe, we have this chance. Then we have like really low cost companies. So you can just go for a weekend. And for nothing. It's just amazing. So this is something I did years ago and it worked. And then it was actually a trap because after all my clients, they were like, oh, we want to travel. And I was like, I just want to sleep. So it's another story. But it's just the best example. Then you can do whatever you want as long as you show it. You will attract the people who are looking for that. So you sell what you show. Don't worry, I'm not going to take 10 minutes per tip because it's going to be like the longest episode ever. The second tip, because I've talked a lot about prices, rates, price lists, collections, how to be comfortable and how to not to be sweating, during the meeting because you know it's very expensive and maybe they won't have the budget, but you really want to increase your price, etc., etc. Something I've learned, honestly, I will always remember the first time I increased my price and during the whole meeting I was like, because I was, oh my God, please say yes. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. So it's actually two tips in one, let's say. The first would be like, it's possible. As long as you've done it once, it's possible again. So this is something so incredible. Like if you can sell it once, it means it's possible and it's going to happen again. So it's just like about the first time, But it's also a very, very important tip is like be comfortable with your prices. What I mean is like if you are not comfortable because you don't feel legitimate, can I say? If you don't feel like I owe this amount of money, the client will feel it, They will feel that you are like, this is the price, is it okay? But I can do a discount, like the worst thing to do. It's just like be comfortable with your price. This is the very first thing. And if your goal is to increase, step by step, because unless you are comfortable to go directly to another level, but step by step, if it's okay, I just want you to be like, I'm okay with this price and I'm okay to say no. If the client say it's too expensive for me, no problem at all. I totally understand. I'm sure you'll find, I have my sentences already done. Like, I'm sure you'll find someone perfect mix between your expectation and your budget. And I wish you the best. And that's it. Because you will be comfortable with your prices. So this is something, and it's still okay to don't increase too much. If you don't feel comfortable, don't. Just step by step. If you want to increase, be okay. And it's the same like if you feel it's too cheap, just increase. If you don't feel comfortable with these prices because you're like, I won't do that for that price, same. So just be comfortable with your prices is something I will repeat again and again. The tip number 3 is like, after 11 years in this industry, I've met so many photographers. And it's interesting actually to analyze a bit like how they react and how, like being a good photographer is definitely not enough anymore. I mean, I know so many incredibly talented photographers, but they just don't know how to sell themselves, how to market, how to network, and all these things. And they just they would love to go to another industry and to move and to travel maybe and to be more expensive or whatever. But they are stuck just because you have two ways. Like some of them are like, oh, but I'm good and one day my talent will be revealed to the world. And well, good luck. I mean, you are incredibly talented, but if you don't share it with the world, nobody's going to know it. And you have another part of it who is like, well, I'm not talented enough, so maybe I don't owe this market or this money. And so they are stuck in any case. So the thing is, whatever, being a good photographer is not enough anymore, for sure. So it doesn't matter how talented you can be, how good you can be, and the price of your lenses and cameras. And if you know me, you know that this is definitely not my priority. And I have like 2 lenses, let's be honest, and 3 cameras because I have one backup just in case. And it's just, I'm not a geek. So I don't say I'm a good photographer, be careful. I just say like, it's possible to have jobs without being a geek. And like, it's being a good photographer is not enough. Like, as I said, I've seen so many amazing photographers. So what I mean is, don't focus, of course, try to learn every day more about the main thing about your job, which is taking pictures, you know. So of course we keep learning every single day. But photo is not only the only thing you should worry about. Like, it's about, as I said, the client experience, and I'm going to talk a lot about client experience because, you know, I'm fascinated by the client experience. It's about the marketing, how to share your words, how to share your work, how to share your brand, how to share, I'm here, I exist, basically, you know, just something like that. It's just something like so important. And the network. Like, I mean, today, and you have a lot of people involved on a wedding, and it can help so much if you know people and if they can share about you and they can reshare your work and you can create projects together. So the networking is also so important. So being a good photographer is not enough anymore. I will repeat it again and again. And the opposite is true. Like, you can be amazing for marketing, etc. And if you are not an incredible photographer, sometimes it works. It's another story. But like, I'm sure all of you, you've seen that before. Like, someone you're like, oh, okay, pictures, okay. Maybe it's me. You're like, oh, she doesn't do that many amazing pictures. But the marketing is amazing. The networking is really good. So, you know, it's actually in every industry, it's the same thing. If you know how to sell your product, the quality of, look at the shoes. I mean, I love shoes, you know that, but sometimes you pay a lot of money for a brand, but the shoes are just like shoes, you know, and the quality is not always there. So just a small... The tip number 4, you are your brand. This is what I keep repeating, and I am actually the worst example because, like, for MC education, I do a lot of effort being in front of the camera and watching me, even if I have an amazing filter. You know, just because I don't have time to put makeup when I work from home, so it's just easier for me to put a filter. But anyway, this is very something complicated for me, and I'm sure, like, as the most of us, you know, we are all the same. This is why we are behind, actually, the camera, because you are not comfortable to be in front of the camera, you know. And it's the level of involving, how to say, like, how involved you can be in your brand depends how comfortable you are. But in a way, we are artists also, and it's interesting, especially if you want to reach a certain market, to share about yourself. Because there is a moment when your quality of work is amazing, but it's not enough because you are definitely not the only one on the market to be incredible. The price, you are like in the middle of the basket, you know? And so the only way to be different now, it's you. So it's to communicate about you, to show a bit about your values, to show about what is important for you. And it's really interesting because you're going to attract people with the same values than you. So it's really interesting. Like, I see the most of my brides, I'm a wedding photographer, basically. The most of my brides, we are a bit in the same mood, you know. We are a bit like fun and crazy, but demanding. And so it's interesting. And even my partners, like the people I'm used to work with, planners, designers, etc., are the same, like a bit completely crazy. We love having fun, but when it's about work, we are like really, you know, organized, and so it's interesting. I hope GD, how to say in English, GD can approve what I said because we've worked together before. So you are your brand, show yourself, show a bit about your life, and show a bit about your values. It's just my point of view. I mean, if you are not comfortable, I totally understand. I'm the same. It's been a long journey for me to be more comfortable in front of the camera. But yeah, to share just a bit, you don't need to do a live every week as I do. And the fifth tip is keep learning. I think one of the biggest traps is once you've reached, not easy to say, once you've reached one of your goals, is to say like, ooh, it's Christmas now, it's time now to enjoy, and believe it, that is not true. We will never, like all the photographers all over the world, we will learn every single day. I'm talking about photography, and I'm talking about marketing, business things, you know, like how to sell ourselves, how to communicate, because the world goes so fast and so crazy. Like we need to keep learning every single day and to stay up to dated to all the new technology, etc. Because one day it could kill our industry, you know, in a way, you know what I mean. But it's something we have to stay aware of what's happening, etc. And all the new people in the industry, all the new trends, all the new brands. This is something we need to be aware of, but also like stay humble. Like, I mean, even if today I am so happy to share with people, in another side, I spend a lot of money every year to learn. So it can be so many different ways, with one-to-one, with books, with workshops, with events like Engage, like DWP, where I go in Qatar in March. So I spend a lot of money and I don't care. I mean, it's something so important for me to always challenge myself and to always, like, I don't want one day to say like, ooh, it's okay. Now I don't need any, you know, I don't need to teach anything from anyone. That is not true. We need to learn, to teach, to learn, you know what I mean. We keep learning every single day. So stay humble. You will always find someone better than you. And it's, I think, so important. We have a bonus tip. Yeah! And it's a bonus tip. I would like to open a debate because I've seen so many photographers and it's actually really funny. I don't want to be, you know, it's just like, it's funny. When I see, for example, on Instagram, it's specialized on weddings, corporate, portraits, baby, maternity, architecture. You know, woo! I think it's like a contest, you know, like I'm specialized in everything. You know. For me, and it's always like, as I always say, it's just my point of view. And I have a kind of expression saying like, if you are specialized in everything, you are actually specialized in nothing. Just my point of view, but I want your feedback. I want to know what you think about it. Like, if you can be a generalist kind of photographer, it's totally okay, and we need people more multifunction in a way, like able to follow people. Like if you can have a client, you do the wedding, you do the maternity, you do the baby, and then they need an architecture photographer for his work. It's perfect. Just accept it and just maybe communicate in a way that it could be a plus, actually. Because like when I am a client and I see like specialized in bim, it's the same if you go to see a doctor. I always take this parallel. If you go to see a doctor, like you have the generalist, like the general doctor, the basic doctor, like 10 years, you know, like basic doctors, but you know what I mean. And then when you need something more, you go to a specialist. And this is how I see our industry too. Like, I'm wedding photographer. This is almost the only thing I do. And if I do something different, because sometimes I do, like I work corporately with some hotels, but for example in Dubai here, and I don't communicate on it. On this Instagram, I have a special Instagram because it's just not the same clientele. But it's like, yeah, it's let's stay focused. If you want to attract some specific people, you have to talk to these specific people. And it's not easy when you share like some architecture pictures they actually don't care about, some weddings if you are looking for corporate. So for me, it's just like, this is really an open debate. I want your point of view about that. Like for me, it's just like specialist, it's one or two things max. But you can also be general and it's completely okay. It's just about the way to communicate. So it's a tip question, you know, like for me, it's specialist, it's specialist. And it means like specialist, you do one thing, but you do it well. My point of view. I want to have your feedback after this session. So it's 5+ tips for photographers to upgrade your business. I hope it helps a bit. And as always, I'm more than happy to have your questions and feedback. And you are the people who give us ideas for the next episode. So please share, like tell me whatever you need. I'm always so happy. And why do I want to share so much is because during 10 years, so many people shared with me their own way to work, their career, some tips, etc. And I think it's just now also my turn to share and to keep learning and to keep teaching and to keep sharing. So you know my point of view about that. Anyway. In any case, you will find Don't Worry this episode on the blog, on all the podcasts, Spotify, you have all of them. I don't do it. I have an amazing assistant for it because it's just like, no way, you know, I can do the live and that's it. But being surrounded by amazing people could be also a tip, definitely. But you'll find it like Spotify, Apple Podcast, on the blog, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on TikTok. Oh my God, we are everywhere. You cannot miss me. It can be a bit scary, don't it? Like, you cannot miss me. I hope you have a good day. I wish you the very best. I see you next week. And as I said, like, feel free, comment. Send me all your ideas, question or anything. And I'm more than happy to see you like every week. Bye bye.